Sacred Siren Circle, a sacred space for soul-led women ready to reclaim their voice, remember their power, and rise in sisterhood. I am your host, Marni Beninger, mama, soulpreneur, rebirth alchemist, Ayurvedic guide, and sacred space holder for women who are done living in silence. Each week, we gather in this circle to share stories, tools, and transmissions that awaken your feminine fire and help you live, lead, and love in alignment. So take a breath, drop in, and let your sacred siren rise. Hello, 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 beautiful sacred siren goddesses. I am so happy to be here on another episode of the Sacred Siren Circle with you. And today's is a vulnerable one. You are getting a peek behind the curtains of my healing. So today's episode was I Did It Again, When Old Wounds Whisper Loudly. And so for me, it was this past weekend. I said yes when I meant no again. And it woke up this deep ache within me that I didn't want to admit was still living within me. I thought I was over it. I thought I had been healing and doing this. I have been healing and doing this work. And I thought that part of it was that I thought that by getting a divorce from my partner of 16 years, from my husband, my boy's dad, of 16 years, that over-pleasing, that people pleaser, that over-giving, that it would be easier, that I would be able to just kind of set those boundaries really easily because it was not someone living in my house, not someone that I felt like I needed to please all the time and to keep the peace and all this kind of stuff. And I know I am working on becoming a recovering people pleaser, and I am, 80% of the way there. And, there are days where I'm 100%, and my overgiving, my people pleasing does not rear its head. That old wound is shut, and it's not there. And then something happens and it's like, oh, right. This is a core piece of me that will always be something that I need to be aware of. And that's what this I Did It Again made me realize, is that so here's what happened, so that you get the context of everything that happened, is my ex asked for help with something to do with Google Docs, because I do so much of my work on the computer. And so he just needed some help with something, and I was like, yep, I'll take a look. So I immediately felt that pull to say yes. And I didn't really sit with my gut and be like, is this a yes? Is this a no? It was just like an immediate yes. And so I did. And I did the first piece of it and said, okay, I figured it out. Here you go. This took me about half an hour to do. So hopefully it's what you're looking for. And he was like, yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And he mentioned that there was others. And I was like, well, how many others do you need done? And he was like, there's another 4. And I was like, that's a minimum of 2.5 hours of my time. And he needed it within 24 hours, basically. And it was already a very busy weekend, a soccer tournament weekend. I managed my middle child's team. My oldest son was reffing. So on top of their 9 games that I was expected to be at, I also had 4 games I had to get him to for reffing, and all of this. So, but here's the thing. And I just did it again. I just explained why I couldn't do it, instead of just no, this doesn't work for me. I just explained why it wouldn't work for me again to you guys. So yes, that pattern still exists, and that over-explaining. I tend to over-explain things. And so I came back to him. I did actually I caught myself mid-pattern, instead of being I was yeah, I can figure out where I could fit this in. And I did. I at first was yeah, okay, I could do this. And I was already sitting with all these emotional things going on. If you listen to the 80% episode where I talk about the 21-day detox, this was at the end of that 21-day detox as well. So my moon time had just started. I was in this like spiral of grief and a week of like a shit show basically, and sitting with all of these deep emotions, allowing my body to really process out all of the last remnants of what it no longer needed. Um, in there as well, we were coming up to the beautiful Scorpio flower full moon, but all of this stuff was going on, and so I was already feeling very. Mm, exhausted is the wrong word, but just emotionally like drained, just like very like deeply, like just that deep feeling. And so I actually caught myself mid pattern of like, yeah, I'll just get this done for you. And it was that pattern of like people pleasing for him, of bending for his love, of over giving to try to prove that I was worthy, and that, I had the thoughts of him being like, oh yeah, look at what she did when he went to his best friend's place for the course he was doing. They'd be like, oh yeah, Marni helped me and she was so great and all this stuff. So like I had this need for people to really love me. And I set the boundary and I said, no, like I'm not doing this for free. We need to have some kind of energetic exchange here. Well, he offered basically something that he already should be doing, which was watching our dog when we're away. Um, and it was already in our separation agreement that this dog that has caused a lot of issues, that he would be watching it when I had to go with the kids for their tournaments or anything, basically, until this dog passes away. It's 10 years old. And anyways, and so I said, you're acting like that's a favor when that's actually your obligation. And so it set me off. And so I lost my shit, to be clear. It made me so mad that he saw that as a favor, that like him watching the kids or him watching our dog was actually a favor to me, when really that is his obligations. Those are what he should be doing without me having to fight for it. And so I lost it and was like, I was not a good text. I totally lost my crap. And was very human, and it spiraled into a fight and spiraled into like this ugly, ugly pattern that we have of like me losing my crap, being like, you don't appreciate me, da, 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 and just losing it, and him going into kind of silent, well, fine, if that's how you feel, sorry that I ever asked you for anything, a kind of guilting feel. And my old response, so it went into, so those that know the trauma stages, it's like, or your nervous system stages, it's like you have, and it's not stages, it's kind of 4 different things that you'll do. You either fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And so I immediately went into fight, which tends to be with him. My immediate reaction is like, I fight. And then oftentimes I go into fawn. And so this is where I had to cut the old pattern, where I had to be like, no, enough. Because I went into, okay, I need to perform, I need to please, I need to appease him, to be chosen. And there was this moment of realization that I still was looking for his love. I was still looking for his recognition. I was still wanting him. I was still wanting him at the end of the day. And so there was this moment of longing. If I give enough, maybe he'll see me. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll beg for our life back. Maybe he'll realize what he lost. Maybe he really will see how freaking amazing I am, that I am this unbelievably worthy goddess of a woman that deserves the best of him. And that this voice said, this very like deep, longing voice saying, if I'm amazing enough, if I can do enough for him, if I can perform enough, if I can prove enough, maybe I'll finally be worthy of his full love. Maybe I'll finally be worthy of this person I know he can be. And um and so it really um it really spiraled me. I really was like, I thought I was over this. I thought by making that choice that I had let go of this ache for his acknowledgement. I thought that um that I had processed this grief, and um that I'd really stepped into my worthiness. And it really it hurt. It really sent the grief up. And I know part of it was that I was in the middle of this detox, that my moon time had come, but it was the universal exact right timing. All of this happened exactly when it was meant to, because I needed to process this. I needed to sit with this realization that that I might never, I had to really face that truth. I was still aching for that deep acknowledgement from him, for him to really name the pain he had caused, to really recognize the load he'd left me. Like, I really went into that victim mode of like, you left me with our 3 children, this dog who I really struggled to control and who had caused all these problems over the thing, that the impact of his choices, of his betrayals, his consistent betrayals, of how deeply he had wrecked our lives, that I really wanted him to acknowledge that he destroyed this dream of a family, that this dream that our children have, that I'm dealing with all the emotional fallout from the children. I just wanted all this recognition from him. And I really, at the end of the day, was still sitting with, I wanted him to beg to come home. Not that I would necessarily say yes to him coming home, but that he was begging for my approval, for my love, for my acknowledgement, for my me seeing whether he was actually worthy. I wanted him to be where I had been so many times in our 16 years. I wanted him to sit there. I wanted him to be in pain. I wanted him to feel even an ounce of what I had felt over the last 16 years of wanting to feel worthy of his love. And I can still, I'm not over it. I still feel very tender. So I'm letting you into this very vulnerable space, because I feel like I am voicing this because I know so many other women have sat here. So many other women, especially if you're going through a separation or divorce, you're still craving that approval, that like begging to come home, that like, I am so sorry for the load I have put on you, that like realizing of what he lost. And I see you and I know you and I am you, that it is a hard place to be. It is those deep hours in the dark of the night. It is the holding your child when he is crying, saying, I no longer have a father, and trying to explain that, yes, you still have a dad, even if he isn't physically here. It is the one seeing the pain in your children, knowing that he's not who they thought he was. It is the pain in yourself, realizing that the dream, it is the loss of a dream. And it's okay. And it's okay to be here, and it's okay to be in that pain. It's okay to be realizing you're losing that part of yourself, and it's okay that you're losing that dream, and that that healing's a spiral. It's not this linear, that like, I thought I was past this moment. I get it. I thought I was past that. It's only been 6 weeks. I know it has not been that long, but I really did think it was past this, because even though it's only been 6 weeks since he left, it's been over a year that I have been processing this and looking at the like, oh, this is his last Christmas with us, because I knew where it was going. I knew what was going to happen. I gave him a chance, and I did say, like, here's what I need for this to work. But deep down, once I had that conversation with him and said, here's the timeline of you deciding, I knew where it was going. I knew. So I knew there was a lot of like, this is the last Halloween with him. This is the last Christmas with him. This is the last birthday with the kids' birthdays with him as a family, um, of us as a family unit like this. I knew. I knew. So I have been processing this for like a year and a half, probably. Um, and the pain of it all. But healing is a spiral. That feminine flow is a spiral. It's not this linear, I'll take this step, I'll do this next, I will do this. It'll be this like trigger. It'll be this moment. It'll be these like, I did it again. Crap. How did I do that again? So acknowledging that. And so I had this deep spiral. Trust me, I went into a deep spiral. And it really came into, if I got that acknowledgement from him, if I got him saying, I see the pain, I see the load I've left you, I'm deeply sorry. He has said sorry a million times over for a bunch of things that he did. Never in that way that I truly believed was really, truly sorry, because the actions never matched the words of the sorry. And so even if I did get that like begging to come home, or the like, I'm so sorry, if I got it, would it actually bring me the peace that I'm looking for? I had to sit with that. If him telling me I was worthy, if him begging to come home, if him acknowledging, really truly acknowledging everything and really deeply seeing the pain he'd caused, would that bring me the peace, the love, the abundance I'm looking for? No. The answer was no. And that was hard. It was hard to sit with. No, actually, he can't provide that for me. Great if one day that happens, maybe. But it's not actually what I need. So it's this shift. So, and it was not an easy shift. Trust me. When I say that I was very downtrodden, I had to, I sat in a lot of like pain that I thought I was over. And I had to say no to doing this work for him for free, and letting myself realize that maybe some of his friends, maybe he doesn't like me now. Maybe some of his friends do. I don't fucking care. These are not people that are my people. If his friends don't like me and he's bad mouthing me, that's okay. It's not, I had to choose myself over his approval. I had to say no and let it be messy and let it be something that we couldn't agree on. And I had to let people misunderstand or even dislike me. I had to let that be a thing. I had to be like, okay, not everyone's going to love me. And I had to sit with releasing this grip of being liked in order to be free. So that people pleasing piece, these pieces keep falling away and shedding. And if you listen to that detox episode, I really talk about like feeling like a snake that's shed its skin. This was really deeply another piece that had to happen. And this was a piece where I really had to choose. Was I going back into the silent she, or was I stepping fully into the sacred siren? Was I fully doing what I have been helping women do? Was I fully becoming the sacred siren where my voice mattered more than anything else? And was I okay not being liked? Was I okay not being chosen? Was I okay not getting what I thought I needed, which was his approval, his acknowledgement? And yes, I'm not waiting to be chosen anymore from someone else. I'm choosing myself. I am sinking deeply into how worthy of a goddess I am. I am I'm allowing this healing to be feminine. I'm allowing it to spiral. I'm allowing the fact that healing is not linear, that falling back into an old pattern is okay. It doesn't mean that I failed. It means that I had to go deeper. I needed to shed another layer. I needed to sink deeper into releasing these grief emotions. I needed to acknowledge that there's still a piece of me looking for these things, and that I can give her love, and I can give her acknowledgement, and I can see her, and I can hear her, that it doesn't need to be anyone else other than me. And so I want us to sit with that today. So I'm not healed yet. I'm healing, and I'm going deeper. And I really turned my did it again into deeper. I see it now, and that when I fall back into these old patterns, which I know it's going to happen again, I have no doubt, whether it's with him, with someone new, with my parents, with my children, with my friends, with my community, doesn't matter. I know it's going to happen again, but I also know I'm going to rise a little faster. I'm going to love myself a little more fiercely every time it does. And I know every time it does, I'm going to choose myself that much deeper. I'm going to love myself that much deeper. And there was something beautiful in a card I pulled this morning. I'm going to pull a card for us because I feel like it's really potent to end this with a card today. But there was something that that was in a card today that I just wanted to be, and that I wanted to bring up. And that is fully understanding that love stands as the most potent force in the universe. And that brought me so much deeper, that love is the most potent force in the universe, and that it's okay. It's okay for me to be kind to him and still be in love with him and still love him, and still a piece of me want him. And that's okay. And that doesn't mean that I'm looking for reconciliation. That doesn't mean that I want him to move back in. That doesn't mean that I want us to, have a whole relationship, living in the same house. We'll always have a relationship. We have 3 kids. I got the best part of him. It's okay. It's okay. And that it's okay for me to give that love and not get it back, because that is part of who I am. I freely, so wholeheartedly believe in love and second chances and the beauty in people. And I saw something too. It was actually a book I've ordered, so I'll let you know how it is. But from Megan Fox, and it was, I think, Drew Barrymore interviewing her. And it says, I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was something about really truly being in love with the person that they could be. And that was a wake-up call as well. Because when I think about who he is on a daily basis, that's not who I'm in love with. I'm in love with who I know he can be, and glimmers of who I know he is. And he has all this amazing potential. And I know there's this bit of fear of like, well, if he goes and does the work now and heals his childhood trauma and heals all this stuff, someone's going to get this amazing piece of him. And I hope they do. I truly, truly hope they do. I truly hope he heals and that he can become this amazing person that I know he is, and that that he does find someone who he can fully love and that fully loves him back and gets this amazing piece of him. And it's not meant to be with me. That's not the journey I'm on. That's not the journey we're on together. We had these 3 beautiful, amazing, wild boys. And that's the piece. And he was meant to wake me up to this codependency, over-pleasing, wounded piece of me, so that I could release the grip of that on me and that karma could be healed. And so that's my journey with him. And that's where I realized it. Okay. That's because I know we're over time. So let's pull this beautiful Oshun card. I hope any of this resonated with you. Leave me comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. I love reading your comments, your messages, your DMs to me. They are so powerful, and I'm glad that so many pieces have already sat with you and resonated with you. And so let's see. We are pulling from Faces of Oshun by beautiful goddess Abiole Abrams. And let's see what beautiful goddess Oshun has to say for us today as we heal these overgiving, people-pleasing, wounded pieces of us, realizing healing is a spiral, not linear, and that just choosing ourselves over everyone else is what we need to do. Of course. So Oshun rising, it's awakening, enlightenment, insight. And so she's got this beautiful fire burning there. Let me just open the guidebook and see if there's anything that jumps out at me. But she's got the bees kind of surrounding her. She has people cheering for her in the background, and she's lit her own fire. It's hard to maybe see this, but if you have the deck, if you don't, definitely go get it. She's lighting her own fire with her own match. She's not getting it from anyone else. She's lighting her own way. And the message in this is I move forward with clarity and purpose. So if you've been waiting for a sign to make the big move, pursue the scary dream, or initiate that project, consider this your cosmic green light. Your creator is rearranging things in your favor. You are blessed and supported. I feel like that's such a beautiful way to end this one. I love you all. I am so thankful that you are joining me on this vulnerable journey and this little harder opening today. And thank you. Thank you for allowing me into your car, into your house, into your headphones, and for being with me. And if you want to be a speaker, I would love to have you as a guest on the podcast, and get in touch with me. And otherwise, I'd just love to hear from you. So remember to like, subscribe so you don't miss any of these. And pass this on to another goddess that might need to hear it. So I see you, I hear you, I am you. We are sacred sirens rising. We may have been the silent she, we may have started as that, but we are not ending. We are worthy of it all. I love you. I will see you on the next episode. And thank you.